Today we're going to be running through our crypto community tier list. We've gathered a number of names and personalities from Twitter, YouTube, and we're going to rank them here. So, getting into it, Conrad, we've got S tier is Satoshi tier, A tier is our alpha tier, B for boss tier, C for completely average, D for dumbass tier, E for essentially dog shit, and F for FTX tier, which is the worst.
Yeah, we know that last one. Yeah, so what have we got? We've got 18 crypto figures today, and it's worth noting that we were speaking to Satoshi last night, and he kind of gave his verification to do this. This is the official crypto tier list, so there can be no complaints. But if you do have any, chuck them in the comments, obviously.
Yeah, you lads are definitely the most qualified people in the space to be able to judge everyone. Yeah, is what he said. So the first off, kicking it off, we've got BitBoy.
BitBoy.
Where are we putting BitBoy? So, go on, you go.
I was going to say, for me, I was toying between D and E, but I've gone for D, or I'm thinking D, just because, let's be honest, like, he was definitely a bull run shiller, pretty brutal, trapped a shit ton of retail, no doubt, in some dog shit that most of them are still holding. But him chasing SBF around the Bahamas was fucking hilarious. So it took him from an E up to a D for me.
I think if he'd managed to get SBF and like rugby tackle him, he'd be going straight into C tier for me, but he didn't quite get there. I agree. He was definitely E tier for me, and he's slowly climbing the ranks.
Yeah. I'm not sure he'll get much higher. Like, he's going to have to do a lot to get out of there, but...
Yeah, another few positive things from BitBoy. Ooh, this next one's an absolute shocker. So we've got Moon Carl.
What are you thinking?
It's a tough one. It's between D and E again. Like, King Schiller, the worst advice on trading. Like, you're not a trader, bro. You just stop. Every single day, exactly how I predicted the Bitcoin price would go. It's just like, fuck. Yeah, get a grip, man. But he's kind of harmless as well at the same time. Like,
yeah, to be honest, I had a similar thing. I'm thinking maybe it'd be a different story if you bought a load of Castor at the top when he was shilling that pretty hard, and that obviously came down 90+%. But it's a funny one. He doesn't seem quite as sinister as a few of the others that maybe we'll get into E tier. But I would probably go D tier again, potentially E. So.
He's shilling that medieval empires at the moment, man. I'm almost a bit like, you've got no off switch, bro. Just stop. Like, just stop.
I think I heard he's worth 9 figures,
Really, bro?
I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe I'm just completely adding to the rumor mill here, but I swear I heard he was worth 9 figures, and it's like, you didn't get there from trading with size, top and bottom of the ranges. So he's took some money out of people's pockets somehow, but
that's how I feel. I feel like most of retail's money is like gone into Moon Carl's pocket, and now he's trading it all to zero. But
I tell you what, it'd be D tier if you went and kicked SBF in the balls like BitBoy. So we can leave him an E for now if you want.
Yeah, I think he does deserve essentially dog shit because his advice is horrendous, and he drives around in that Bugatti. Definitely only lost his virginity recently, so I think he's definitely going in an E tier for me.
Perfect.
Next one, I don't think we even need to fucking debate this one, mate. Caroline. Straight in F.
Yeah, to be honest, I had E/F for one reason, is not because of the beanbag antics, but just because she seemed, I can't tell if she was literally that oblivious that she was like a puppet in Alameda's CEO position, and she was just literally going with the flow. But yeah,
mate, I feel like the fact that she's rolled on SBF, I have almost less respect for her. Like, I'd maybe put her in E tier if she had like just been like, no, I'm not speaking, and just taken the punishment. But
at least she wasn't. Yeah, if she wasn't a grass as well as a piece of shit CEO.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, total grass and just a piece of shit. So definitely F tier.
Cool. Yeah, keep her there.
Next one up, Altcoin Daily. Altcoin Daily.
Altcoin
Go
Daily,
on,
yeah. So
your
we
turn.
wanted to mix it up, didn't we? Have a few YouTubers in there, some stuff that we've seen over the past couple of years. Yeah, I think I'm thinking around a C tier. I think their content's decent enough, super consistent. I think it's one of the better probably retail YouTubers, and for people to kind of get a base layer understanding and stuff like that. But it's not quite boss or alpha, from what I've seen anyway. Good content creators, over 1 million followers and that, so they're obviously solid and they do the shit right.
Yeah, I'd fully agree. Stuff's a bit basic, but fair enough. Absolute professionals at highlighting articles and reading them back to people, which is always good. But yeah, like you said, consistent. Not dickheads like some of the other people we've got on this list. So yeah, completely average. Kick the content up a couple of notches, and we maybe creep into boss tier, but it's going to take a lot of work. Yeah. Moving on. Ooh,
Kobe. Crypto Cobain for any OGs who. That's why we use his old profile picture, Kobe, on Twitter. I personally think he's a fucking legend. Like, I really do.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's class. The things I really like about Kobe is, he could easily shill $1 billion. He could make $1 billion from his fucking, his reach and his Twitter profile. I know he's made a lot of money out of Lido and stuff, but I just don't see that from him on Twitter. I don't want to say he's trustworthy, but I kind of feel like what you see is what you get, which is quite refreshing when it comes down to these big shiller accounts.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a funny one with Kobe. I feel like a few years ago, a bit longer, maybe talking like 2015, 16 and 17, even 18, 19. I just feel like the last few years, he's really kind of taking the foot off the gas a little bit in terms of the way he acts on Twitter. You can tell he's just made a lot of money and he's a bit more chilled out now. But I remember back in the day, bro, he used to like put out some really interesting pieces and thoughts. Whereas nowadays he seems a little bit more just kind of just here for the lols, chill out and do his Up Only podcast, which is good. I'd stick him in boss tier. Like he used to be alpha tier for me, but I think now for me he's in boss tier.
I'll go boss. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'd say he's probably the king of crypto Twitter in terms of. I think I was following him before I was actively bought a piece of crypto just from.
Oh yeah, mate. I remember. Yeah, like
it's like a funny guy
OG.
for years as well. Like he's a witty fucker. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I think boss tier.
Next up, controversial one, CZ. I'm just going to put him here for now while we discuss. For me, CZ, bro, it's a funny one because after FTX collapsed and they were going to buy FTX, I'm like, yeah, CZ's alpha tier, and it was all just like, whoa. And then over the last sort of few weeks, since the FTX collapse, he's kind of starting to like crumble. There's starting to be little cracks appearing.
You see the whole God complex from being an absolute maestro in crypto coming out again, in terms of tweeting too much, tweeting some daft shit. Like you say, that the play against or the play to kind of expose FTX was literal God tier, alpha tier. But I think, like you're saying, that the following months, it's been a bit more about is just shut the fuck up a little bit now. You've won.
Yeah. Well, I don't hold any money on Binance, so what does that say about trust? Do you know what I mean? I think at the moment for me, he's completely average. Like he's sat bang in the middle because he's either going to be kind of going back up to like alpha tier, or he's going to be going down to F tier. Like when the whole fucking exchange collapses, if that does happen.
Oh my god! If we have to do this again in 3 months and he's F tier, like we're probably all fucking bankrupt by then. I'll go with C. I would probably say C to B, so he's a B plus or a C minus. But yeah, I'll go C for now. Let's see who else we get in there. We can maybe bump him up if we get some plebs.
Yeah, let's see what else we get in. All right, we've got
Mr. Doe.
The old Doe.
It's bizarre because somehow, you know what I mean? Back in May, this is the clearest one ever. And after the whole FTX debacle, it's like, was he that bad? For me,
yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's kind of how it feels. Is he FTX level? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. It's pretty hard not to put him in F tier. He did explode $50 billion worth of fucking value and tell everyone to hold steady whilst he did it.
But I think the only thing that I'd say that saves him from F tier for me is it almost feels like he didn't see it coming, and kind of it was almost not almost a bit of a mistake.
Or it like got away from him or something.
Yeah, it wasn't FTX where it was like, yeah, we haven't commingled funds, we're all fully solvent, and it's just like, bro, you obviously know that you're not.
I think he's at the being kind is E tier, so I don't think I think it's E tier minimum, because to be honest, I think he's probably still an F for me.
Is he?
But I don't mind E, and then let's see how we line up and where people are at. But
who would you rather go for a drink with, Do Kwon or Moonboy Carl?
Probably Do.
Fucking damn right, Do.
Yeah, exactly. So he did have the brains and he did have an idea and something that worked, but at the end of the day, that was some serious wreckage. Wow.
Okay, interesting one up next. We've got Send It, so ourselves.
Yeah, we're fucking definitely
straight in dumbass tier. I
mean. Yeah, we're straight up dumbass tier. 500 followers, 20k on TikTok or whatever. So, give us 12 months and maybe we'll bump that up a couple more spots. But for now, we're just dumbass tier talking shit. But we do have a direct line to Satoshi, so it's something that everyone else doesn't quite have. So,
ooh, the next one's a good one, bro. GCR, Gigantic Rebirth.
Is it the first one?
Yeah. I know where I want to put him.
Alpha.
Straight up in alpha, like not far off Satoshi tier. He's so good, bro. I think what puts him in A tier for me is really kind of three things. The first one was the bet against Do Kwon about Luna collapsing, and was it like 20 million they put in escrow with Kobe or something?
Oh yeah, that was so gangster, wasn't it?
Wanted to go 50 mil. So he's serious bankroll. If he's happy to just leave 50 mil for like 12 months just in some escrow account by a guy he's never met, I'm like, whoa, he's what baller. Second point, he was very open about the shorts that he had. I mean, a little bit of the way into the bear market, but he shorted a lot of stuff really well and put it all out publicly, like the whole list of like 20 altcoins that were like millions of dollars in profit. Just called some insane things in the market. And the third thing is he just puts out really interesting like tweets every now and then about things that just make you think. He'll put out a thought about prediction markets and maybe where this space or industry is going, and you're like, fuck, that's a really gets you thinking. So absolute alpha for me.
For sure. And I think that the good thing that probably keeps him in alpha tier is people can actually derive some alpha from his post. You know what I mean? Like, his stuff actually is alpha if you take the time to read it, understand it. There was the one recently, his predictions. He made some predictions like BTC local bottom, probably come down to like 12, and then like stable coin issues, big centralized ones. He literally called it like a year ago, and more like a prophecy than a fucking prediction. Like, it's insane. So I agree, alpha tier GCR.
Yeah, man, I definitely learned a lot off him when he after he'd put out those tweets showing how many coins he'd shorted, like Ponzi's. And I did the same thing, bro, but I got stopped out on most of them because I was too greedy, my stops were too tight, and like just didn't commit to it. Whereas like when I saw his posts and the way he spoke about it, it really kind of made me think you need, with those sorts of plays, you need to just have conviction, not be too greedy, set it really wide and just leave it. And
Yeah.
because
we were talking about it, weren't we? I think we were having a conversation for a couple of hours about unlocks. We were like, most of these projects popped up 2020, 2021. A lot have 12-month cliffs. And as soon as it got to like January 22, we were like, right, okay, this is the year of unlocks where most are going to unlock like 300% of supply and conditions were looking bad. But GCR was in the trade, riding it.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Just execution. So good. Anyway, enough of sucking off GCR. Absolute legend. We'll go for the next one.
Justin Sun.
Oh yes,
Mr. Tron. This is a difficult one for me.
Is it?
I think you're probably right there in C tier.
I wasn't. I was just putting him there. I was just resting him there, bro. I wasn't using that as his final place. Do you not feel like he pulled some wild stuff with Tron when FTX was going down? I thought that was pretty like shady stuff.
I think so, but he's quite a difficult one. Like he's built Tron, which obviously had one hell of a move in 2017, 2018. That was insane. I remember watching that. Who's he with? Is it Huboy? Huobi, yeah. Huobi. He's... I don't know. It's hard to call him a dumbass. I don't feel like he's a dumbass here. It's like...
Mate, if his exchange is liquid, then he's one of the only liquid exchanges around.
Yeah.
And he's got bank, so yeah, I agree.
The one thing I'd say about him is you wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him based on like...
Not one bit.
What was he doing? He was like interacting with Do Kwon himself, like paraphrasing him and stuff. Like, it doesn't sit wonderfully well. He's been moving hundreds of millions of BUSD here, there, doing one chain to another. Full well he's got some some fingers in some pies that he probably don't want people to know about. But that would just be speculation. For me, he's completely average. Not an average guy, but in terms of he's not going to drop any alpha.
Yeah, okay. I'll put him in. We'll leave him in C tier.
Oh, but looking at that though, we've got CZ next to Justin Sun. That's a bit ruthless.
It's a little bit ruthless. We'll have a look at it at the end.
We'll come back.
Kaleo, however you pronounce it. I've got some interesting thoughts. I think for me, at the moment, definitely C tier, 100% not dumbass tier, definitely not. Was in boss tier for me, but has kind of since gone down. And the only reason why I think he's moved down a little bit is just because he's so into NFTs now, and I'm just not into NFTs, so maybe that's just a little bit of bias. But Pudgy Penguins, wonky stonks, that's all stonk charts, that's all I see from him nowadays, and I'm just a bit like, bro, come on.
Yeah, I remember when back in 2020, 2021, I remember seeing daily P&Ls off him of like 5K. It was like proper P&L porn, and you're like, holy shit, like this is insane.
He is a beast. He is a beast.
But I would agree that I don't think you'd derive as much alpha from him today. Again, you could probably say that for most people because the market's sideways, difficult, choppy, and dog shit. So it's quite hard. I think it's definitely an account, an account I would follow.
Yeah, that's fair.
But maybe a bull run account more than anything.
Well, yeah, or his NFT plays end up turning into the next Bored Apes and Punks, and we're just sat here like a couple of idiots. Yeah, very close, like on the edge of B and C, kind of in between, but just recently into C for me. Oh, this is a good one. This next one.
Who've we got? Crypto.
Crypto. I'm just gonna fucking bang him right there, mate. I'm sorry, but
Straight.
yeah, it's just the same as like Moon Carl. I'm pretty sure they even hang out. Like,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do.
could you imagine like being stuck in that group?
I saw him do a comparison picture where him and Moon Carl are sat on a jet and they're posing like Warren Buffett and someone else. And we'll have to chuck it up. We'll chuck it up on the screen. But just looking at this, mate, I'm not sure the Moon Carl and Crypto are as bad as Do Kwon.
We'll come back to it. They're staying there. I know what you're saying. Oh, that face though, as well. That face is.
To be honest, that face himself, those thumbnails keep him out of F tier just because they're so ridiculous. That's how I take myself to my happy place. Is just think about how fucking ridiculous they are. But...
Oh, yeah. Keep him there for now. We'll review at the end. Right, moving on to the next one. Richard Hart.
Richard Hart.
I mean, he's definitely knocking around these two areas for me. Like,
really, I wouldn't say F. I wouldn't
say F. I think definitely dog shit. Like, just because he's obviously he's a really smart guy. He's built a project. He's obviously made a lot of money from it, and you can see that with his social media postings and blah blah blah. Gucci Prada. But just a bit of a dick, and the whole lockup thing with like Hex. I remember speaking to some people in spaces about Hex, and they're all like hardcore Hex people, and they were talking about locking the coins up for like 8 years. He's got some sort of like locking thing with Hex where you like lock them up for like 8 years. I'm like,
like higher APR and stuff, and they're like, yeah, but what if it goes to Bitcoin's level? It's like the best thing you've ever done. Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, I would probably go D. I think master marketer for somehow has, well, maybe instead of marketer, maybe cult leader or something would be more appropriate. You're just waiting. The one thing is, I would say it feels like it could be the next Do Kwon or Suzu or thingy, but it's not happened yet. Like it's just not. It's not. I know it's down hard, but it's not.
I just feel like he's a sophisticated scammer, bro. Like a very like sophisticated, intelligent scammer that's great at marketing as well. I just can't.
The videos do my tits in. They are, or his pictures like declaring that he's got $12,000 worth of.
I mean, so imagine this, right? Imagine you're like the lady I spoke to on Spaces was like a mum of like 3 children in Australia, and she's like, Richard Hart is a genius, and I'm gonna put my tokens away for 8 years, and I'm like, we might have like flying cars in 8 years. The whole thing might be different. Like, how can you kind of think that far ahead? 8 years, and then you look at the chart and you're like, and he's walking around with Louis Vuitton bags all over him. And just caked in thousands of dollars worth of gear. It just doesn't sit right with me, man.
You would have thought that when Hex holders saw him posting that shit, that there'd maybe be a couple of alarm bells. His Hex isn't locked for 8 years.
Mate, I said that in the Spaces, and they're like, no, he's just super wealthy and successful. Like, he's just showing off his wealth, and I'm like, fuck.
Wow, man.
No.
Yeah,
you want him in D.
I know tons about Hex, but I know that whatever the hell they're doing is one rocket fueled kind of Ponzi-esque.
I mean, look at the performance of the project. Dog shit. Like, for me, he's absolute dog shit.
Keep him there. I think he may have to go up one or.
All right, we're definitely maybe due a bit of a shuffle at the end of this, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
The next one, SBF, straight into F tier. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's got his fucking tier for a reason.
Today, he pleaded not guilty in a New York City courtroom to cheating investors out of billions of dollars.
What a douchebag. Adderall munching, beanbag shagging, curly haired, fucking scammer knowledge.
Yeah, he deserves the FTX category for sure. Is there anything from here that could push him up to E tier or higher?
Fuck knows. He makes it all back in one trade and makes everyone whole, and then decides to go and work at fucking Tesco or something. That would probably be about it. But I don't know. I'll tell you what. I think he looked better than ever when he'd been arrested. He actually looked fucking a little bit gangster, being hustled around with his fucking shirt and stubble and shit. But he's just a fucking piece of shit. So
yeah, he does deserve F tier for sure. I think the only thing that could have bumped him up to E tier, I mean, yeah, this is funny. The only thing that could have bumped him up for E tier for me was, the 600 odd million that just kind of went missing, like on like the weekend after FTX collapsed.
Yeah,
is if he turned around at that point, it was like, it's me. I'm making all of like the smallest, poorest accounts whole again. I'm gonna work my way from bottom to top like that to the richest. Fuck the whole disciplinary hearing. Fuck the whole process of bankruptcy and lawyers taking all the chunk. Here's the cash. I'm so sorry, guys, but we've had the opposite of that. He's been siphoning like a few hundreds of thousands of dollars here and there from wallets that
If I'm honest, I'd put him closer to the blue thing and past Caroline. He's the ultimate fucking S tier, ultimate F tier. Sorry.
Right, yeah, we'll move on to the next.
Sue?
Yeah, we've got Sue.
Suzu.
I think D tier.
D tier, really?
D tier, yeah.
I've got him E tier.
Have you?
Well, yeah, he had fucking $10 billion, like, and within like a month, like, was down to zero and owes billions. Probably made the most ridiculous Luna bet ever. Bought Luna at the top with like all their cash, completely leveraged, took down 3 lenders at the same time, and just evaporated like 5 funds, 4 VCs, 10 projects, himself, their yacht, Kyle Davis, 3 Hours Capital. Oh, it was bad. I think for me,
yeah, when you say it all back, it's quite bad, isn't it?
I think for me that the thing that keeps him in essentially dog shit is the impact that they can take. That was the first. Well, along with Luna, that contagion was heavy. It had effects. We're still seeing it now. Voyager dead. Like, it did a lot of damage. More damage than the likes of Crypto and Thingy, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair. Did you see that funny post that someone did? When he's like stood in front of some religious building in some foreign country somewhere, and they're like, "Imagine getting wrecked so hard that you turn to God."
It's so true. We're getting cryptic tweets out of him telling us he's been surfing and that, and I'm like, we know you've still got a bag somewhere. You've got 1,000 Bitcoin somewhere as well, so don't give us that.
All right, we'll give you that one. E tier. On to the next one.
Vitalik.
Old big piece himself.
Yeah. Owed fucking lamppost dick. Yeah. For me,
that pushes him up a tier as well, that picture.
Yeah, I've got him A tier, I think the most impressive thing about Vitalik and Ethereum, consistency. If there was more founders who were that fucking consistent, and I know like maybe that he's got a huge team of devs and stuff, but he's the one person that you can tell has lived and breathed their project, did it for longer than Satoshi. I think a solid A tier. I think if we lost him or something like that, you'd be pretty fucking worried. I don't know. I'd be worried for Ethereum.
Yeah, fully. Like, I think I agree with you. He's the only one continuously trying to innovate and think of solutions. Not a bad actor. Never has seemed that money motivated. More technologically motivated. So quite similar to Satoshi in that way. I'd say he's a few inches off Satoshi tier.
Yeah, we're going to struggle, aren't we, to fill that Satoshi tier because no one's quite broken out of that just yet.
He's on his way. Just don't mess it up, Vitalik.
Yeah. Trader XO.
Yeah, that's not formatted well, so that's annoying. But we've got Trader XO here. For me, I'm gonna go Boss tier, bro.
I'm with you. I think between Boss and A, I think he could potentially push his way up. Again, is probably the one guy throughout the entire bear market that has been right.
Yeah.
And publicly right. Live streams are great, tweets are strong. You know, I think if you were following his TA and, you know, kind of acting on it, you probably did pretty well over the last 6-12 months for sure.
100%. Yeah, I love his style as well. Really simplistic, kind of no nonsense charting. Yeah, I don't really have a bad thing to say about him. I do like his live streams. His little he does like a little okay.
He's British, isn't he? He's British.
Okay. Yeah. I've been. I can't quite pick where he's from. Somewhere in the Midlands, I think. But
Midlands or South, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, good solid follow. Trader XO for sure. So straight into the boss tier with Kobe.
Yeah, the one thing I'd say just on what you were saying there, actually, potentially close to alpha, just because if you are following his tweets and learning from them, probably is alpha. Yeah. But I would agree boss tier.
He's on his way.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if he can navigate a whole community of people through the bear market and come out of it at the other end and smash it through the bull, he's in alpha tier. This is an interesting one. Zach XBT.
What are we feeling?
He's definitely between A and B for me.
Yeah. I was leaning towards B. I think, you know, he's got doing God's work, more or less, calling out scammers, providing the evidence, obviously does a shit ton of research, whether he's got people working with him or not, but really dives into it, provides the facts. The one thing that I find impressive with him is I don't think there's been anyone he's falsely called out and been wrong on in terms of, you know, he's like, does his work properly.
Yeah, I don't think so. Do you remember when, and just to show how strong his work is, do you remember when BitBoy tweeted out, like, I've never done a page shelf, you know, past such and such a date. And then he immediately tracked down like the transactions and what it was, where it was, and was like, no, this you did it here. And I think BitBoy said he had to give him like $10,000 or something.
Oh yeah, he's going to give it to charity or something.
Yeah.
I'd give someone 10k if they can prove it. He just proved it within half an hour, but
it takes a lot, bro. I think to stick your neck out and call people out. Like, we know it already. Like, you know, we were going to do a horrendous video on Paradox Metaverse, and just bad mouthing people, you know, bringing the truth to light can land you in hot water. And I bet he's been in a lot of hot water and taken a lot of flack under the surface for what he does.
There's no surprise whatsoever that he's completely a non. I think I've seen several times him say like it's pretty damn important he stays anonymous.
Yeah, mate, for sure.
Which is gangster. For me, he's a boss. He's a boss tier.
On the road to alpha. On the road.
Again, if I was just to put it this way, if I was to follow Trader XO or Zach XBT, it'd be Trader XO. So I'm not sure he can bump above him.
No, definitely not. But yeah, regardless, great follow. Moving on to the final one, and we'll have to do another one of these actually, because I think we've got plenty more names we can do. But the last one is MVP Michael Van der Pop, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Absolute dog shit in so many ways.
Yeah, I think calling the bottom since 50k is probably not a great look for anyone who's a crypto influencer, and trying to be quite certain on him each time it's a running theme in our Discord community, isn't it? That he's the Jim Cramer of crypto Twitter.
Yeah, he is the Jim Cramer. He is the Jim Cramer of crypto Twitter. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what he is, mate. Like, you should try and create an inverse Cramer Van der Pop ETF or product or something. You'll do very well. Just terrible advice, and he gets on TV and gives terrible advice. I think he's trying to clean up his act a little bit recently with being a bit more kind of careful with the TA, but I'll say that, and then tomorrow I'll be calling a bottom and a moonshot to 30k. Just some really bad TA and general advice all over, which is the same for most of the guys that do that kind of stuff here. So looking at the final complete list then, is there anything that we want to shuffle big time?
I think Doe's got to go down. I really do. I think
you know what, actually, you know, when Luna collapsed and we were talking about how many, you know, there might have been people that took their own lives, and straight in F tier for that. Thinking about it.
I think we were trying to big brain it in terms of like, he's obviously a smart guy and would be great, could have been great, but God, Luna went bad.
He's working his way up to dog shit tier, I think.
I kind of like that he's still on the run, but we do want to see some justice for it. Like, some people, it's easy for us to say this, mate, because we didn't get wrecked in Luna. So, you know, for some people, he's on their hit list, you know. But yeah, he's got to be F tier.
Yeah. I've just got to keep the influencers in F tier, man. Just because they lose people so much cash, and it's just shameless at this point. I'm like, just stop. Yeah. You know, I think there's an argument to be like dumbass tier because they're just fucking dumbasses, but you know, there's potential for that. How does that sit with you?
Again, I think Richard Hart isn't worse than them. Well, like, it's hard to say because they're all. It's the sliding scale of how dog shit people are at different stuff, innit? I think, I don't know. Like, maybe Van der Pot would be up one compared to the other two because I don't see him openly scamming. I just see him being fucking incredibly wrong. Like, he's just brutally wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we are all basically just dumbasses on this level, aren't we? So maybe it does make sense. Hart can be in the right place most of the time, but a little bit dumbass.
We can keep him dumbass there. I'm sure they'd be fuming the fact that we were putting him in the same category as us even, but it's like, whatever.
But bro, I tell you, they are like a scratch away from this, like a scratch away. Honestly, I think Carl's the worst out of them, but
okay.
C tier, I think I'm happy with this.
I do think we've been a little bit mean to CZ and Kaleo, but they're not quite on the other guys level just above.
I'm happy with CZ. Kaleo's where I'm a bit torn. Like, he's done those books as well, hasn't he? Oh,
I think he's evidently got loads of value and a definite follow. You know, we'll include these guys' Twitters or something in the description if anyone wants to check them out or whatever. But yeah, I feel a bit bad on him, but at the same time, it's not someone who I go and check their feed anymore.
Yeah, it's just the NFT stuff, bro. Kaleo, if you are listening to this, it's just the NFT stuff. Like, I'd have him like half. If it was possible, I'd have him like halfway over this line here.
Keep him C. Keep him C. Then
we'll keep him C.
Sure.
B tier, pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
A-tier,
GCR and Vitalik. Not
and
a
we have
single
no one for us.
No. The Satoshi tier. What would someone have to do to get Satoshi tier? You know.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because I'd have maybe considered. I think there has to be a real, you know, GCR's on his way. Vitalik's on his way. I think Vitalik will probably be the first to get there, just because of consistency. If you know everything works out better for Ethereum in the next cycle during the bear, then fine. If they just keep building and doing what they're doing, I think that is S tier stuff. For anyone new to join, for me, it's got to be serious groundbreaking innovation. You know. In the crypto space in some way. I don't know what that even looks like, but it has to be groundbreaking, almost selfless.
Yeah, or if someone, like, oh God, we didn't even have Sailor.
Oh, Sailor, yeah, Michael Sailor.
I think someone else might get S tier if if anyone can bring crypto to adoption, that would be an S tier thing for me as well. Whether it was DeFi, whether it was Bitcoin into, that kind of stuff, but we've not had that yet. Vitalik, if Ethereum completes their roadmap, and in the next 5-7 years we've got a top performing blockchain which can handle DeFi and everything, then that's S tier as well. We're probably a little bit mean on Vitalik. I think Vitalik's probably he is close.
Yeah,
but
he's very close. Like Kellyo, he's in between. He's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to see a little bit more from him. But he's on the right path.
Yeah.
So that just about wraps it up then.
I think it's not a bad list. Pretty funny. We'll add some screenshots and stuff in of any funny bits from these guys as well. But
yeah, we'll probably do another one as well if people like the video. Let us know in the comments. Let us know any names you want us to include. Sailor, we can't believe we missed that one. I'd have put him at B tier personally.
after buying billions billions at 50k and bullet, and around there. Yeah, another one, we could do projects, we could do unreleased projects without a token, these kind of ones, that any alpha driven stuff. So if you would be interested in a different tier list, chuck it out there, we can do it. NFTs, anything.
Nice. Peace.
That's it.